Okay, hello everybody.
it up,
This
guys.
is definitely not our second take at this intro, and let's repeat the same joke. I mean, oh shit, sorry, just kidding. This is an organic joke. Will has passed away due to a tragic self-sucking incident,
It happens to the best of
and
us.
he's being airlifted to Germany.
That's a far lift.
There we go. Okay, we're back. Hi everybody. Just oh, what a cursed intro.
You should not have allowed me to bring this. I'm gonna have a whole time.
Yeah,
All right, I'll just keep it on this.
we need
You
it for
know-
later. We need it
Alright,
for later. We
need
have
it for
another
later.
because Will isn't here. I decided that
We need content.
We need
because
content.
He provides content.
He provides
I
content.
Do not.
Patrick looks me in the eye at the beginning of every week and goes, I don't have any topics.
That's right.
And then I'm like, it's okay, baby bear. We have till Thursday. And then Thursday rolls around. And he's like, I still don't have topics.
that's a lie. I always bring a shark.
you bring what's the shark today?
I don't want to talk about it.
Or what's the shark?
I don't know.
Is it the basking shark? You haven't talked about that.
Yeah, that's right. I never talked about the basking shark on here.
Fucking God. So, because Will isn't
Did
here
I talk about rays last week too?
for like a second.
God damn it! I'm using all my shit.
I just know that we have to kill all the rays because they took our boy.
Yeah, that's right.
They declared war on humanity the second they killed Steve Irwin live on camera. They shot him just like, you know.
Do you know that he snuck up on that thing from the back?
Story has not changed.
Yeah. So like they were like chilling with this ray, right? The whole point was to like sorry for derailing, but
No,
the
you're
whole
not
point-
derailing. This is interesting. Continue.
The whole point was to like chill with the ray, right? So they go out and they're diving with the ray, and everything's going very well. Like the ray acts very, very chill and everything. And then I think that what happens is they go back to the boat. You've just had a very interesting reaction to what's going on over there.
The rock candy broke off. I have a bunch of rock candy in my mouth now.
There's so many rocks in my mouth.
Can you hear this?
Yeah, that's crazy. But so they go back to the boat, and then they decide that they want a special shot. And they want the cameraman in front of the ray, right, from the front position, and they want Steve to like come in behind him, like over the ray, right? And like the ray, you know, it was cool with them before, so I think they were like, "Yo, everything's gonna be fine."
This is a chill ray.
Yeah. But like every interaction, every fresh interaction is gonna be different, right? Because the circumstances are different, right? So the ray is like on the floor, on the ground, the sea floor, right? And Steve like dives over it, and like the theory is that like the ray just like did not see Steve coming at all, right? Was focused on the cameraman, didn't like the camera being in its face, so it was like in a defensive kind of like posture and mindset already, and that's why it attacked. And then the positioning
Tea everywhere.
the positioning was just incredibly unlucky for that.
Yeah, he got hit right in the heart, right?
Yeah. Crazy.
Rip.
Yeah.
So
It could have been it definitely could have been something that was avoided if they were more mindful about reapproaching the ray, I think. That's kind of like one of the more prevailing understandings of the interaction.
So this is a very tragic story, and I really hate the fact that I have to segue into this because the first topic I wanted to bring up now that Will isn't here and I'm unchained, this is the Hassan Patrick Power Hour. I was going to ask if, you know, a gun to your family's head and I lock you in a room with Lucario, Lickitung, and Charizard with a strap. And you have to have sex with one of them to free your family. Who is it? Who's it going to be, and why is it Charizard with the strap?
Oh my god. Oh my god. Why did I ever agree to do this? This is so crazy. It's Lucario,
Lickitung
and Charizard
with a strap.
Okay, but the other two don't have straps?
No, it's just Charizard.
I don't know what to say about this.
Well,
I don't know. I think there's nothing good here.
no, one is a steel type, so you know it's not going to be a good time.
Yeah, it's also like a fox.
Exactly, like they're all animals.
They're all animals.
Let's be real here.
Yeah.
Lickitung is just Lickitung.
Yeah, I kind of don't fuck with Lickitung, honestly.
And then Charizard at the strap.
I don't know. I guess Charizard.
There we go.
Yeah. Just I don't know. Why would you ask this? What's wrong with you?
Yes, I wanted to take you very off guard. I feel like I've succeeded in this.
Yeah. There's no, like, I can't even logic my way out of this. Everything sucks. It's terrible.
Oh man. Okay, so I have a few questions for you.
Okay.
So before we get to this will interact with this computer soon.
Okay. Sounds
This is the Hassan Patrick Power Hour.
good. Okay.
And I thought, what's the best thing we can do but introduce the viewers to the psychopathy that is each of us. And I did not want you to prepare for this because I want you to ask the questions that come straight into your head that you think the viewers should know about me. And then also, if we run out of things to say to each other, we ask the AI what it wants to know.
Okay.
So, number one, you answered the question, which was gun to your family's head. What would you do in a room?
That's the first question.
I thought that was very important for the viewers to know.
Okay. Yeah, thanks.
But number two, which is, what is your most recent favorite Pokemon?
Most recent favorite Pokemon? Well, damn.
You have 10 seconds.
10 seconds. Fuck.
10.
Shit.
9.
It's,
8.
Glimora.
Just show me.
Okay. It's a new one.
Next question. Streamer awards. We were both. This was really cute, actually.
Yeah.
While he's looking this up, well, the streamer awards were happening.
Okay.
Aw,
It's actually kind of cool.
kind of cool.
It's like a flower rock.
Flower rock.
Yeah.
Cute. So I'll put a photo here. Next thing that I wanted to know is, but also yours. So streamer awards were going on. Patrick and I are kind of obsessed with the streamer awards because
It's fun.
we have an unhealthy relationship with the streamers.
I mean, I don't think I have an unhealthy relationship with the streamers. They're just entertainment.
Anyway,
Anyway.
what was your favorite fit for men, women, and envies?
I didn't really do a watch through of all
Well,
of the fits.
That's fair, but like, which ones do you think? I really loved Valkyrie. Valkyrie was was insane.
Cool. Hers was really cool. Yeah.
I really liked Valkyrie. I thought Will's was funny, but I don't think it's my favorite.
Yeah, I mean, I liked Hassan's. I like the simplicity of it. Like,
Mhm.
I don't know. But yeah, I mean, probably Hassan and Will's. I actually kind of like quite a bit. Like the simple white tank top and the jacket.
Mm-hmm.
It was cool.
Little tabbies.
Yeah.
Would you fuck with tabbies?
No.
Explain.
They seem incredibly impractical.
Impractical.
Incredibly impractical.
So you know what they were made for, right?
No.
So they're actually a Japanese workwear shoe.
Really?
They're designed for engineers and electricians and stuff like that because it improves toe flexibility and apparently helps you walk around really well. It's only Hassan who's kind of a dumbass who didn't have the right sock.
I see. Interesting.
Now, another extension of that, how do you feel about shoes with toes?
Okay, so I've seen these, right? And I did consider getting some at one point. So for a little while there in undergrad, I was obsessed with this idea that the human foot is the most ultimate technology. It's the most cringe runner shit that you could ever possibly think in your entire life. It's insane. It's crazy. I have undergone growth. I understand that shoe technology has evolved for the betterment of humanity.
New shoe tech drops.
And it's actually better. It's actually better than just what your foot can do, despite what some crunchy granola runners say.
Crunchy granola runner. Basically people from Colorado is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Everybody from Colorado.
Yeah. You're on watch.
Exactly.
So I went out and I got some of these like barefoot running shoes. That like are supposed to like just let your foot be, and it's just like a small barrier between your foot and the ground, right? To like minimize any like flexion that's induced by like having an actual like shoe on it or whatever. And like when I was shopping for those, I was considering getting the toe thing. And I've had some friends in the past that have worn the toe things. And like I must admit, I've worn toe socks, right?
Yeah.
Like socks where you can have all your individual toes in there. And those are actually kind of pleasant, right? The shoes, I feel like go a little too far though. I don't think I would like to be walking around with each of my little piggies separated, out in the wild. Right?
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ. I'd like to just take a quick second today. just pause the segment. This guy has been off all day. Like
Peepaw ain't doing well.
Something is wrong in the life of Hassan.
People ain't doing well. You might want to call. So you know what it was? I played 5 hours of League yesterday on stream.
God. Yeah, that's probably the problem. Yeah, we went to go get these teas, right? And he left his wallet and his phone both in the lab.
I've also left my phone in my car 3 times today.
And he left his wallet in the car both times that he went
3 times. We went to the fucking cobbler. I had my thing in the car. I had my phone.
You didn't have it. Oh, that's
ticket
right.
because I left my fucking wallet in the car.
Dude. You know God like made pockets for a reason, right?
He made pockets?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh man. So,
all right, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Why the fuck are you so bad at looking at things on a computer screen when I tell you to look at them?
Okay, actually I have an answer for this. I think my brain is like terminally dyslexic to begin with, number 1. Like I have terminal dyslexia. You've seen me read names. It's a tragedy. Yeah. Number 1. Number 2, I think I'm not joking. My eyes are just fucked. Where like you can tell me to look at something and I will have trouble like spotting it.
I've seen you read papers on a computer screen at an alarming rate. So I don't know if I buy this.
Oh, okay.
You can sift through things when you're like undirected, no problem. When there's like an email I've sent you, right?
True.
And it's like 5 lines down, and I'm literally telling you, Hassan, look, like move your mouse down, move your mouse down. It's right there. Move your mouse down.
That's true.
And it takes him like 40 minutes. I swear to God, to move the mouse a millimeter down on the screen. It's insane.
Okay. Actually, you're right. I think I'm just an idiot. I mean, so I used to play 80 carry when I was younger. I tried to play 80 carry recently, and I'm like, my wrist hurts. So I know I'm also getting old as fuck. So I think it's just a bad time for everybody involved. Oh my lord. Okay, next question. What's your favorite movie and why?
Favorite movie is Alien.
Why?
Several reasons. I like the suspense that's built up throughout the whole movie, right? You never get to see the whole alien. I think that's actually kind of a cool thing. I like the fact that there's a lot of like surprises on your first time like watching through, right? Spoiler alert, this movie came out like 40 years ago.
I was gonna say
we're gonna talk about the movie.
I love this movie.
Like I love the fact that like when you go and like you read about how they set up the chestburster scene, right? The actors were like not prepared for what was going to happen, right? I think that's super cool. I like that the lead, like it's a female lead, and the female is just kind of like a badass, right?
Sigourney Weaver
She like does her shit. I love Sigourney Weaver. Just the whole movie, I really like it top to bottom. I think the pacing is good to induce the emotions that they're trying to induce, and some good stuff.
I love the visuals in that movie. The visuals are fucking awesome. I like the ship.
The
I like how very tactile it is. It reminds me, it's like It's all the tactility of like Star Wars without any of the polish.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It seems like it's like actually like what a spaceship
Would look like. Yeah.
Right, so.
The other thing that I really like about it is apparently I learned this recently. Actually, yes, no, yes. Who made Gladiator?
I don't know.
Can you check the director?
Oh my God.
I think it's the same director.
I do not think so.
Ridley Scott.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yes. So I recently found out that Ridley Scott does not direct his actors.
What?
Yeah, he picks actors, he gives them the role, and he's just like, you do you, girl.
Wow.
So all of those actors are
Dang.
self-directed.
No direction.
He sets up the shot, and he's a big camera guy, but like he lets the actors do their thing.
That's kind of crazy.
He will like have them redo the scene if he didn't like the product, but he doesn't give them pointers. He's just like, oh, I don't like this part, like do it again, and then he'll have them figure it out themselves, like watch it back and then do it again, whatever feels natural to them.
Interesting.
So that's why some of his movies are dog water. When he like, when he picks an actor that just can't do the thing, the movie ends up being dog water. And when he picks an actor that can do the thing, the movie is sick. So when they were filming Gladiator, you ever watch Gladiator in the movie?
No.
So there's a really famous scene where Russell Crowe like hits. So again, spoilers for a 20-year-old movie.
No, they're all clicking away.
Yeah, there's this. So basically, the movie is about Marcus Aurelius, blah blah blah, Maximus.
Okay.
And which, as much as I hate this, I'm a Rome nerd. So like,
oh boy,
already his name
Here
is
we
just
go.
really wrong, but it's fine, and I will live with it. It's
All
okay.
right.
Life goes on.
Mm-hmm.
So Russell Crowe at the time, it was peak of his career. He's a good actor.
Okay.
He's still a decent actor,
Sure.
but like he's just old as shit, so he doesn't do any movies.
Rough. The old disease.
Old. Yeah, he got hit with the olds. Anyway, so in that movie, Russell Crowe, there's a scene where he comes home, and the Emperor is upset with him, and he burns his family's farm to the ground and kills his wife and child, and like burns them and like strings them up.
Ooh.
But they don't show any of it. They just show like the like just blackish feet of his wife.
Oh, dude.
And
Brutal.
apparently in this scene, he was only supposed to like see them, but Russell Crowe was like, nah. If that's my wife, what I would do is this, and like he like walks up to her like feet and like kisses the feet, and then but like there's so much snot initially, and Ridley Scott just goes, so that was a good scene, can you just do it again without snot? And Russell Crowe says, no, I like this scene the way it is, and they just kept it in the movie.
Oh.
Yeah.
Gross.
The other thing that I got called out for during Thanksgiving was, I think I already said this to you, I don't understand why people like Pedro Pascal as much as they do.
I don't. I'm very unfamiliar with the hype surrounding individuals.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know of this person. I know he was in the Star Wars movies.
Okay, so he's a nice guy.
Really
I'm not shitting on him like I don't like him. He's a nice person. But like people like him because, first of all, this dude's like a 56-year-old man. He's not a child.
Okay.
But like
he's a person. That's good.
What people like about him is that like he is socially awkward and like super sensitive, and like he needs his co-actors to like hold his hand during interviews so he's like calmed down. And like to me, it's just not there's nothing wrong with having social anxiety and any of that, but like your entire career is acting, and like is this shit. At some point I'm like, nah brother, you gotta like,
it's very exclusive of you. Incredible.
I understand.
That's crazy.
I understand. And there's nothing wrong with it. But like people love him because of this. They're like, oh, he needed so and so to hold his hand because she noticed that like he was having anxiety. And I'm like,
I think people love themselves a small bean. They
yes,
love it. They love themselves a small bean.
But my boy is like a multi-million-dollar paid actor is in blockbusters.
Bean's a bean, man.
I don't like small bean syndrome when you're not small bean anymore. If this was like, hey, this is his first role. He's a 20-year-old boy. He is scared to be in front of a camera. Understandable.
I mean, I don't know. I think you're giving this guy a hard time.
I am giving him a hard time.
Yeah.
He's a 56-year-old man. I'm allowed to give him a hard time.
I don't know. I don't get the obsession with it. Like if you're really into that, like I don't know what to tell you. Like I don't know. It doesn't matter.
No, it is. He makes movies for nerds, and nerds have no confidence, and therefore they're relating to him.
Oh, I see.
That's my take. I think that's why I'm so pissed.
That's interesting.
Go touch grass.
Oh my god. Go sniff a pine tree.
Hottest
Dude,
it takes it.
It continues. The sky is falling apart.
Okay.
This dude is on his last leg.
There's only a few more hours of the, there's sugar on my thing now.
You're so stupid.
I'll watch it later.
There's also sugar in his drink. He was surprised.
That actually pissed me off. Okay. So we get these drinks right here. And I asked for tea with milk, which is a latte. And it turns out they just dunk sugar in that thing. Terrible.
Yeah, man. America's great.
Hate it.
Crunch.
I don't know.
All right, what's a good question for you? What did you? Okay, so you have worked in the kitchen,
I have.
right? What did you cook while you were in the kitchen? What was the menu of the kitchen?
A lot of things. So the kitchen itself was like a Middle Eastern / Italian, kind of. Like not really fusion. Just had like dishes from both.
Okay.
So I specifically did a lot of carbonara, and I did a lot of like Middle Eastern food. So
okay.
Middle Eastern food takes like a really long time. But the thing is with like these type of kitchen jobs, unless you're like the chef manager, like the head chef manager, you kind of just get put on a station and you do that thing over and over again.
Okay.
So
does the station rotate? Like, is one day you're like...
It can rotate, but because I was like more on a schedule, like it wasn't a full time.
I see.
They don't really want to rotate you because like they'll just give you one job, you get good at it, and just like you keep doing it over and over again.
That makes sense.
A lot of fun. I learned a lot. I think this is also where my like absolute, I just eat whatever the fuck I can get that I can cook in 20 minutes comes from. Because like I just want to do it fast. I just want to have it done. But then when I do want to enjoy my food, I like really into it and I can like really enjoy the food and I don't mind dropping like literal hundreds of dollars on food.
God damn, that's a lot of money.
Like I went to not Yamamoto. I looked this up recently. Yamashiro. My friends recently. Like this really fancy Japanese place. I think each one of us dropped like $120 on dinner.
Goodness gracious.
It is really good.
Nice.
But yeah, so I basically but like what the menu of the kitchen was, it was they had like camel. They had like a buffet type thing where they would have buffets and then you could like everybody would prepare a lot of food and then that could have like a range of things.
Yeah.
I never did anything, I'd never made sweets or anything, so it was mainly just on proteins.
Okay.
I did camel, I've done chicken, I've done beef, I've done fish. Both in like Middle Eastern type things, so this would be like it was more Persian food than it was like Arab food, which is they're similar, but there's like slightly different.
Yeah. Geography's rather different.
Yeah. So but it was really really good. I really liked it. I learned a lot, which is also like where I learned how to use saffron properly for the first time, which I didn't. I did not know you had to like. There's so much to it. You have to like put it in cold water first.
What?
And then put it in lukewarm water and then put it in hot water. People just go the hot water route first.
Interesting. Is this to kind of like try to like get deeper flavor out of it?
Yeah, basically.
Interesting.
Apparently the hot water can just like hurt the petals and then like it will cause it to break down faster or something like that. I learned how to make the like that rice with the crust in the bottom.
Oh yeah. That shit's goated.
Yeah, there's like a lot. I don't know, like it was a really good time. But like goddamn, I think like working in the kitchen is kind of insane job. And chefs, maybe this is where my reverence for like chefs come from, where I'm like, I'm gonna spend a lot of money. Like I don't give a shit. I know what you had to go through to get here.
Crazy.
Here you go. You're an artiste.
That's cool,
Did you ever watch this Netflix show called Chef? Not Chef. Shit, what's it called? Was it called Chef? Where they like pick a really fancy chef somewhere and they follow his story.
Nah.
It's a pretty good show.
Nice.
I suggest watching it. Okay.
Cool.
What else do you think the people should know? because I have a topic that's a little longer and I want to explore it a little bit more. We can keep asking questions randomly.
I don't know.
Okay.
Hard thing to come up with.
I have a question.
You're an open book. That's difficult to
So
think of things.
I have a question for you. We talked about this yesterday, and we kind of got into like more of a debate format, which is regarding the race to world first.
Oh boy.
I actually have a question.
Okay.
So you had said something towards the end where you're like, it's like a whole server community thing because they raid and they do dungeons with other people
Yes.
to get all this gear and all that stuff.
Yes.
What is the relative population of each of the region? Are they comparable to each other?
So that's something I don't know off the top of my head. My guess would be that NA is more populous. It's, a game made by an American manufacturer. Of course, there's a large population in Europe as well, and then there's a large population in Asia. But I don't know like the relative populations of those kind of like those are like the three big regions. So I'm not really sure. If I had to guess, I would say that like population might be Asia is on top, and then NA, and then EU.
Okay.
That would be my guess.
I want to delve into one more thing regarding this topic. So I was thinking about this recently. Like I was thinking about this when we were talking. And it seems like rather than like talk about, the two big guilds, it kind of feels more whenever you talk about it, it just seems like it's more of a server thing. Like it's the NA server going hardcore versus the EU server.
So I take when I talk about it, I follow Liquid's guild, right? So they Liquid, the esports team, has a guild, and that's the guild that I like to follow.
Yeah.
But EU also has large guilds.
Yeah.
Traditionally, they have claimed more world first guilds than.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like talking about the whole idea of like they raid outside of their guild, they like I feels like they're like kind of stimulating the game by doing this. Of the general like the general population base.
So maybe I should describe kind of like what they do with the community, right? So yesterday we were talking about changes that Blizzard could make, right? To make the Race to World First
competitive,
a more like purely competitive environment.
Yes.
And my argument is that I think that any of the like necessary ways that would need to change, like necessary things that would have to change, would have an adverse effect on like the community at large. And I don't think that is worth
changing. Yes.
Right. I personally think that having the robust community as it is now, without changing any like reset schedules, without changing maintenance schedules and things like that, is better for the game. I would rather have that, despite the fact that I love the Race to World First. I would rather have the way things are as they are now, to avoid hurting like guilds and their already made up schedules and stuff. Anyway, but I said that like having them move to a tournament realm where this race happens would also not would also be a bad thing. And I feel like I didn't explain my reasoning very well. So I don't necessarily think that the community would hurt from them moving to a tournament realm, right? But the race in its current form would fundamentally change, right? It would no longer kind of be the Race to World First that we understand, right? And the reason is when the race starts, the guilds go and they do what's called heroic split, right? Where they kind of split off parts of their raid, like some members of their raid, and they enter a raid with what are called like helpers, right? And they're just members from the community who have enough gear in order to enter the raid, and in some cases have like some kind of like, like understanding from the community that they're good players, and they they like basically sign a contract when they enter the raid that they're going to give the loot to the people of the guild, right? And they're just like they're going through and they're literally helping the guild that they support on the way to get gear to do the race, right? And this is like a very efficient way for them to get gear, right? Because they can send in a certain number of their guild with a certain number of helpers in order to maximize the drop that go to those players, right? And you could not do this in parallel with other groups going, right? Without having like a giant roster of people, right? Because like you're involving like hundreds of people, like depending on how many splits you do, right? And depending on how many characters they have. So this is something that would just be completely eliminated if you were to move them to a tournament realm, right? So their gear acquisition rate would go downhill incredibly fast, in my opinion. This may not be the case. Maybe they can do splits with just the 20 people or the 20, however many people that you can allow to have on the tournament realm or whatever. And like maybe they would just have to do a gajillion splits. And that, like in my opinion, like having to do that many splits in an ineffective way would be bad. Bad for viewership, at least. So that's kind of what I mean. I don't think that the community would suffer from changing it in that way. But I think that the race, you got it back over here at least. But I think the race would like fundamentally change in the way that it works now. So yeah.
Okay, understood. I was just okay.
Yeah, and I don't know. Like, I like the idea of the race being a more competitive thing, right? I just don't see a way where you can implement changes without it affecting like Joe and like Steve and Cheryl that like come home from work wherever they are and they've like found a community that can raid at the 2 hours or 3 hours that they're available, and like those are important people for just the community of the game. Like we like to shit on casuals and stuff, but like they are an important part of the game, right?
Yeah. I don't mean to shit on casuals. That's sort of why I think Will and I ended up talking about like just a tournament realm and just having the community do their thing and having the pro players in their tournament realm. I was just interested why the tournament realm was an issue, and I understood it as before the race starts, like there's all this raiding going on where normal casual players are like getting gear off of these upper guys, but it just seems like they're feeding gear into them.
It's more of a funnel into the guilds.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I think that if you were to move it to a tournament realm as well, like there'd be other like effects on like how the community sees the raid as well. Like having it be on its own server and stuff, and like not being able to like see these characters, these like guilds characters, like in the real world, and like being able to like in the real world, but by that I mean in the digital world.
Yeah, and in a non-tournament realm, yeah.
Yeah. Like it kind of separates them further, which isn't like necessarily a bad thing, but I don't know. It's just what it is.
Hello. No worries. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We had a live audience.
Yeah.
It was sick.
So yeah, that's kind of what I think. I think I don't know. I like the fact that like these players are playing literally the exact same game.
Yeah, this is kind of what Will ended up getting to.
Exact same environment that we play in, right? I think that's cool.
I think that's what Will was kind of getting at, where he's like, it's the relatability.
Yeah.
And I'm so again, to be fair, I'm coming from just hyper competitive games like CS:GO, League of Legends, but Age of Empires.
Again, all of those games, right, are matched games. Right? They are like, here is a match that happens. And at the end of that, like you guys go back to a screen, like a menu screen.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like you aren't in the world where you all like collectively interact, right?
Understandable, and that's sort of why I'm like I'm unable to relate to the community aspect, where I'm like, yeah, but like why are we? I don't know. It's interesting. Also, again, also coming from like Smash Bros, where like interaction comes from going to tournaments or like Smash houses or whatever, and then talking to the players there. But I really need to do again. I have not done that in literal like half a decade.
Oh man,
I've not gone to a Smash house in like half a decade. So I really should be doing again. Both COVID and Slippy have taken my need to like actually get my ass to a local tournament. I used to be pretty active in the UCLA Melee.
Oh,
they still have a Twitter account. They still run like local like live tournaments.
That's cool.
Here on campus.
You can go and be Unk.
I would be the Uber Unk. Yeah,
Uber Unk.
Old as shit and getting my ass kicked by a kid who's younger than the entire video game that I've been playing.
That's right.
We
talked about that yesterday.
Exactly, which is just a depressing thought to think about, but okay. Dude, there's a really famous League player. His name is my god. We talked about it recently. Oh, it'll come back to me.
Rip.
I forgot now. He's an 80 carry main. He used to play the game, and he wouldn't record his voice. And all of a sudden, he started recording his voice, and he sounded like older. And now I found out yesterday, the person who I watched when I was in high school, so over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little over, almost 10 years ago. 2015, I graduated. So almost 10 years ago. Is now 21 years old.
No shot.
So this was a little child who was recording himself
sounds
playing.
like an old man.
Well, he didn't record his voice for a long time until his fucking balls dropped, and then he started recording, and
Dude,
he sounded a little.
I'm telling you, that's how you do it as a kid. If you're trying to like get into like a gaming sphere, right, you cannot let
speak.
them know.
Not let them know how old you are.
Let them know, man.
Yeah, and then
that's how I got into like my first WoW guild as well. I was like 13 or 14 or something like that. And like, all the guilds are just like 18 plus, you got to be an adult, right? And I'm just like fucking, all right, I'll just act like I'm an old guy,
It's
like,
also kind of sad that WoW players fell for that.
I go to college, guys, and
silliness.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was a little surprised. I'm like, you're fucking 21?
That's crazy, man.
Oh my god, I used to watch your videos when I was younger. I thought he was an adult.
Damn, he's been better at you at the game the whole time.
Yeah, he was an 11-year-old fucking absolutely clapping me. Like, it was insane. He used to play Vayne. He played Vayne bot lane, and everybody tried to copy his Vayne. Like, that's how good it was. Damn. And no one knew.
No.
And he posted a picture on Twitter recently. He's like, I can finally drink now, guys. And I'm like,
holy shit.
I'm getting my PhD, you little bastard. The fuck are you talking about? I thought you were my age. Like, it was so bad.
Nope.
I mean, like,
baited.
I had a feeling he was young when I was like when I was a teenager, but I thought he was my age.
I see.
Like, I didn't know he was literally 11 or something. It was bad. It was like 12, I guess.
Damn. That's crazy. So you did something yesterday that you haven't done in a while.
I streamed.
You turned on the old stream. How'd it go? How you feel?
So I hadn't streamed a long time. I used to stream really, really regularly, like 4 years ago. I went online basically every day. Really well, surprisingly. I had, and I think, like, unironically, for a person who's not streamed in like 2 years, besides like sporadically, I got 7 viewers right away, which is a W.
When I tuned, your account was at 8.
Well,
so yeah,
I mean, like, cool. A lot of old heads reappeared.
Yeah,
guitarist reappeared.
Yeah, I saw the chat kind of popping off.
Yeah, cool. They were like, "You're alive," and I'm like, "I'll be streaming again, I promise." And then they're like, "Okay, cool." It's weird, right? Like, I really like streaming. I really enjoy I like being live. I like having chat that I can talk to.
Yeah.
I really like the fact that I am on somebody's screen, which sounds very narcissistic for sure. I think I'm also somebody who does really well when they stream because I talk to myself all the fucking time. I just don't stop talking.
He yaps, dude. He yaps.
I talk for 5 hours.
He yaps all day in the lab. He cannot stop.
It's bad.
It's crazy.
I was when I looked at the stream again, and I literally talked for probably the entirety of the 5 hours. I was nonstop talking.
That's crazy, man.
Either to chat or to myself, or especially when I play a League, I feel like it's really useful because I talk myself through what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So and then like there's a person in chat who's just like, oh you don't have to play hyper aggressive for us here. I'm like, oh, I'm not doing this for you. Like I'm explaining to myself the process of which what I need to do to like kill this guy.
Yeah.
So that's really important. I have a couple of streams locked in that I want to do.
Okay.
So number 1, tree bark ice cream.
What the goddamn fuck does that mean? God,
So
I'm
you can
so
make
old, dude.
you can make ice cream out of tree bark.
What?
I'm not joking.
What tree?
All trees, basically. So like they will just taste a little bit weird and interesting, and I'm like, oh, I saw a YouTuber, he did it. I'm like, I could do that. That looks like a lot of fun. So I want to do tree bark ice cream. So the tree bark ice cream stream. Number 2, there's a. So I want to do tree bark ice cream stream, and I want to do project stream. Like I actually want to sit my ass down. I think the way I'll be accountable if I do something is like, okay, I want to use my Raspberry Pi to do a 4K recorder or whatever. I can just like actually go like, this is the point of the stream. Here we are. We have 5 fucking hours or something like that.
So not only does it make you stream, it makes you do the project.
Exactly, because I'm not doing the project if I don't have the stream.
That's 2 birds, 1 stone.
Because, like I said, my brain is kind of fucked. Like, I was talking about Patrick in the morning, where like I don't like sleeping very much because I feel like I'm wasting my day.
I keep saying this episode. This guy's insane. This guy's not normal.
Or like I will leave my house if I'm like not tired at 9 or 10 p.m. I'll like leave my house and do something. Like I went to lab the other day to just go do shit,
bro,
because I felt like I was being like my brain got the feeling of like, oh, I don't want to be in my house anymore. Damn. So this is a way of me forcing myself to do things. So that would be stream, which is nice because I like streaming. Sure. And then the project that I want to do, and that way I get to do 2 things, where I get the dopamine rush from streaming and the dopamine rush from actually doing the project.
Damn.
And I feel like that is a useful thing to have. Obviously the VOD exists. I can put it on YouTube.
Sure.
I can do all these different things, and I feel like I'm doing shit, which makes me feel good.
That's good.
Rather than
doubly productive.
Doom play League. I also play better League when I'm streaming.
Yeah, I mean, I could see how like the little bit of extra pressure would maybe help.
It's pressure, but also like, I know this is again sounds stupid. When I'm like 3 games deep into League, I'm like, and I'm just playing. It's just me. Yeah, I'm like, oh, I
start to get a little.
I start to feel like lazy. I also feel bad. I'm like, I'm wasting time playing this game. I'm not doing anything.
Yeah,
but literally, there was one game where like my mental collapsed. Which was really funny. Would you watch the game? I mean, I know I was a second monitor, but did you happen to see the Riven game?
No, I don't think so.
So, I played Riven, and I know how to play Riven. I actually genuinely do. If you watch that stream, you're like, this person should never touch this character ever again in their entire life. But it was insane. The enemy jungler wasn't camping me, but literally every time I wanted to do something, he was there. Ooh. He was Himothy from Zimbabwe.
Ooh, all over the place.
And it was insane. Like, literally, Michael was watching top. He's like, oh, you're absolutely where the fuck did J4 come from? J4 kills me. And I'm like, okay, fine, understandable. I rotate mid. Yeah. I rotated mid to join a team fight. He appeared behind me, killed me.
Rough.
I then went back top lane, and I almost kill him.
Unlucky.
And he leaves, and then he flashes over the wall, ults and kills me, and I'm like, dude, where the fuck are you? And I just kept dying. I went 2-7. I had not, and literally, I died more in that one game than I did in the entirety of the 7 games we played.
Damn, dude.
I was just like, please, together.
He boomed you. He absolutely counted.
And I was losing. I raged, and we won that game. I raged that game. The next game we played, we lost, and I wasn't mad. Yeah. I was so upset.
You're like, at least we won this dog shit.
Because he lost the game because of what he did to me. Because all he did was kill me, and I'm like, Okay, I am worth 65.
Ah,
Meanwhile, our Vayne is absolutely deleting your team across
yeah.
the map.
yeah,
What are you doing?
targeting the wrong people just for funsies.
It was painful.
Okay.
And then it was fun. Yeah, so I feel like streaming allows me to enjoy the things that I want to do,
That's awesome.
and it prevents my brain from getting the weird like, oh, you should be doing X, Y, or Z.
Yeah.
So I think
No, that's
the two streams that I have planned, besides just league streams, because I think league streams work really well for me,
Sure.
is I want to make tree bark ice cream, which is
Yeah,
why
yeah.
I asked you if you know where California oak is.
Oh, yeah, dude. No,
Okay,
sure.
I think I found a California walnut.
Okay.
It's on campus. I
Really?
definitely found a California pine on campus. They're fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
And then I also found a tree next to my house, which looks really cool. I have no idea what it is.
Okay.
I've looked it up. It doesn't look native to California,
Of course it's not.
but like it looks tasty. However, a tree could look tasty.
Okay.
So I feel like those are three very fun streams. Like it's a Sunday
Yeah.
morning, make ice cream.
That's cool.
I think
Yeah.
that would be fun.
Do you have like an ice cream maker? Or you just gonna,
My
like...
mom has one. She doesn't use it, so I was gonna take it from her.
Yoink. Yoink.
And then I'm gonna make ice cream.
Nice.
But yes, so streaming I think is good for the mental.
Yeah, man. Sounds good.
And if I get invited to the streamer awards, you're my date. I don't give a shit if I get a partner by that point. I don't care. Sorry, this is already signed in blood.
Good God.
You don't want to be my date?
I don't have fancy clothes. You want me to just awkwardly stand around a bunch of people I've never met before?
Yes.
Good God.
Yes, I would like you to do that.
All right, just for you, I'll do it.
You heard it here, guys. I'm
I
going to be at the streamer awards, not next year, but the year after. That's the goal. 2 years. Give me 2 years. I'll be the old guy.
The old guy. I'm pretty sure some of those guys are older than you.
I mean, Pirate Software always winning was really cool. I like him so much. He's the guy with the long hair.
Yeah, yeah.
He's so nice. He's so old.
He's so old.
He was so funny. He was just like, listen, chat. I used to work at Riot, and then I worked as a nuclear engineer hacking nuclear sites, and I have enough money, and I don't really give a shit
Holy-
about making money.
God damn.
Yeah. Okay. Any other burning questions?
No, no.
Burning a hole. I actually really wanted to understand the race to world first, because let me explain what I understood from this.
Mhm.
You and the community at large, a majority of them like it because it feels like it feels like a community birth event, and you can see and interact with the players, which makes it more special because unlike other esports, they're not like out of touch to some degree. Not that the players are out of touch, but like they're not
Yeah, I mean,
separate
it's-
from the community.
That's a component of it. Yeah.
And finally, the esport takes second place to the WoW community.
In my opinion.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Understood.
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 If changes are made because of this,
Mhm.
right, I'm still going to enjoy the product, right? But I would be very sad if like even a few guilds got affected by
Mhm.
maintenance schedule changes or anything like that. That'd be rough. Because like, I mean, you've tried to get, for your ATC, you tried to get 4 people in a room, right?
It's
For
bad.
2 hours, right? That one time. You
And
tried to do that
And
one
I couldn't
time,
get it
right? So like getting 20 people together,
possible.
for multiple times a week for multiple hours is like, I don't know, it's a tall order. So finding that special time is tough.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd be pretty sad if changes had affected people that like had that schedule and did well with that. So
Okay,
that's just my opinion.
so here's the fun half of the podcast.
All right.
We have ChatGPT on the computer next to us.
That's right. I've asked it 2 questions already.
And I think it would be funny if you asked ChatGPT,
Oh boy.
what are some good topics for a podcast?
All right.
What are some good topics for a funny podcast?
Okay. So interesting. All right, so the first section that it created is called Everyday Humor, right? The first one is Petty Complaints Hotline. I feel like we have plenty of petty complaints. We don't need call-ins.
I feel like this is just the podcast.
The vast majority of our lives are spent complaining, though, because we are Californians. So
it's also just this, it's so bad. Okay.
Next one is weird stuff my parents say. Right?
I mean, my parents are foreign, so they say some pretty weird shit. Like, have you ever heard one of my favorite German metaphors?
No. Tell me.
When the pot opens, the air is stinky. It means when like a secret is broken. Or
when the pot opens,
the air is stinky.
What the fuck?
My mom will just hit you with zingers, and I'm like,
dude,
in German, and I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? Like, she has a metaphor for everything. Next.
That's intense, man. Overheard conversations. See, this is where being you is actually the worst in this situation. You want to know why? Because Hassan is the generator of overheard conversations. He will say anything at any time, anywhere, around anyone. It's insane. Today at the gym, we're at the squat rack, right? And we're squatting, right? And I can't even remember what brought this up, but he's like, basically the conclusion is
snip. It came from snip.
Okay, yes. I guess we were talking about circumcision because, that's just what people do.
That's what boys talk about.
And he's like, well, the only penis I can talk about is my own. And he says this at,
No, the only child's penis I can talk about is my own when I was a child.
So it's even worse than I remember. Thanks for that. And he says this at the typical Hassan decibel level of like
very
maximum,
loud,
right? At like 6 a.m. around other human beings. So he is he's the generator of overheard conversations.
The other one that was awesome was Sunday. Remember we talked about A5 Wagyu baby?
What?
We talked about like being we said, I don't know how we got there, but we started talking about Wagyu beef. And then we're like, and then we started talking about like, oh, I remember what it was. My delt was hurting, and I'm like, I did this, and I acted like I was going to cook it because it was hurting, and I want to eat it. And you said, you won't taste very good. You're very stringy right now because I'm working out. And I said, oh, you're right. We should have an A5 Wagyu baby. The moment it's born, you feed it alcohol and massage it every day.
God. Yeah, so
it was such a packed gym too.
Dude, being around you is so hard sometimes.
I think it's so
difficult.
Oh, I remember once when I was a kid, my brother was talking to this man at the airport. We were just talking about something, and I didn't like him, and I wanted the conversation to end, and I looked him dead in the eyes, and I said, I shit 3 to 5 times a day.
Bro, that's too many times.
Yeah, exactly.
Bro, that's way too many times.
So I've always been like this. I think it's so funny to talk about outlandish shit at like max volume. Because like, look, I said this before, it's fun for other people to hear. They get to go home, they get to talk to their friends, their significant other, their families, and like, I heard this today. And if they don't, they're boring people.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess.
It's my freedom of speech, brother.
That's crazy, man. Okay. Anyway, so that was the third point from ChatGPT. Overheard conversations, which, like, unfortunately are just conversations for Hassan. Anyway, okay, so the next section is called Absurd Scenarios. There's a what if, imagine ridiculous what if scenario. Like, what if everyone had to wear rollerblades all the time? Which I actually think would be kind of lit.
Dude,
honestly.
no one would have teeth.
If you're bad at it, yeah.
Oh, we can bring back like medieval times where they check your teeth if you're like healthy.
Yeah.
That's what it would be in the future if it's just rollerblade folks.
You ever think about like, all right, so like let's say the apocalypse. Okay, this is actually a what if scenario that I thought about, right? So like the apocalypse happens, right?
Mhm.
Like you are able to survive somehow, right? The maximum likelihood.
I hid in a fridge, just like
Yeah,
Indiana Jones.
you hid in a fridge while the nukes were dropping, and somehow you're alive still.
Yeah.
Right? Probably the way that you're going to die is like a dental infection.
Yeah, for
You're
sure.
like-
You get back a medieval death, like James stubbed his toe and he's gonna die.
And he'll never recover.
Modern medicine is so. We're not gonna have modern medicine for 4 years. RFK Jr. is coming in. He's bringing it back.
Yeah, we'll get crunchy granola medicine. It'll be fine.
Oh fuck, dude!
Rough.
Dude, what a bad life it was. You just like fucking cut your toe. You get like an infection. You get staph. You just die.
Yeah, and like the injury rate like goes up with decreasing age, right? So,
Yeah.
like, this is why you just need to have 40 kids.
Exactly.
Because you're like, well, about 35 of them are going to die because of the wood plank in the board. It keeps stepping on it, and they just keep dying.
If there was an apocalypse, what's the first thing you do if you survive? There's a nuclear apocalypse. China, Russia, America all nuke each other, but you survive.
Yeah.
You wake up the next day.
Yeah.
You open your door. You're not somehow irradiated.
Yeah.
What's the first thing you do?
Go to a river.
Go to what?
A river. Find a river. Head north.
We live
a
in
river.
California. There's no rivers.
There's some rivers. You gotta get up there, or a creek.
Mm-hmm.
Some source of running water.
Mm-hmm.
That would be the main objective. Try to stockpile food on my way to a river.
What happens if you find another band of survivors?
I try to join them. I try to make them not think I'm a burden, but I probably get dead.
The first thing you're like, listen, I know you guys like really appreciate me. You want to make me your mayor, but I don't think I'm qualified for that.
Yeah.
You guys actually hate me. You just get apocalypse imposter syndrome.
It's like, look, guys, I got skills. They don't apply to what we're gonna have to do at all, right?
We run for office. Who wins?
Between the two of us?
Yeah.
You.
Yeah. I'm Middle Eastern.
What? I don't think that matters.
Okay.
Yeah, you are like
taller than you. That's
yeah,
about
so
it.
A, you're taller, right? B, you're more handsome. C, you are more aggressive. Right? You're way more aggressive. So like imagine the Trump Biden debate, right? And Trump is just going at him, right? He's saying the most outlandish shit. That's just Hassan.
Oh yeah, listen. You're comparing me, as much as I hate him, to the goat of winning elections.
Exactly. Yeah.
I saw the most insane ad today. They had like TikTok, and then there was Brat, and they're like, you can even make a social movement, and they had Brat, and I'm like, that movement lost an election? Like, that's not the one you want. Oh my gosh.
Very rough.
Oh, actually, I remember there was one more topic I want to talk about.
Okay.
So have you heard about this OnlyFans star who wants to have sex with 1,000 men in 24 hours?
Okay, all right, so I'll be honest with you. I was scrolling Twitter.
You heard about it. Okay.
I saw this headline, and I was like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my entire life. I have no reason to look into this any further. So go ahead.
That's what I thought,
nothing
too.
else other than the headline.
I thought it was like a catchy headline, something stupid. But then I watched a documentary about her from a YouTuber. And she has done similar things before. She's done like 36 men in 24 hours. She's done 24 men in 24 hours. Now, she also, the biggest one she's ever done besides this 1,000 one's coming up was on October 19th of this year, my birthday. Didn't get an invite.
Okay.
My birthday. And she had sex with 100 men in 24 hours.
Okay.
So
I
thought
understand.
I thought this was gonna be a lame video, a lame documentary, and okay, the way I found out about this was because X is a cesspool,
That's
I was not on my following page, but on my For You page.
Oh, that's a big mistake.
And a Twitter user by the name of Gooners Forever posted this documentary.
Delete the internet.
So I was already going into this thinking this is going to be a shitty video. Turns out it was an hour video of something very interesting. The guy was legitimately going to interview her. Nothing weird. He was not a fucking weirdo. He was not a creep. And he didn't like make her feel weird. He didn't say anything weird. She's just a legitimate, very interesting person. She's like, hey, I started off, I was in college. I had so much sex. I realized I really enjoyed it. And I could make money off of this. So I started my OnlyFans. And at first she's like, I wanted to make like $400 or $500. I wanted to pay for drinks with my friends because I just don't mind having sex. I don't mind having sex on camera. And then she like then expanded into basically this becoming her career, and she like bought her first house.
Wow.
She has 12 employees who help her like film and coordinate and do all of this stuff.
Damn.
And then when she like did her first like 24 hours, like she basically live streamed it on her OnlyFans. And like her very first month on OnlyFans, she made like £13,000.
Damn.
And then her months now, she's like, I'm not comfortable like sharing how much I make. But the reporter was like, oh, can I just like see the amount? And he was just like, okay, it's more than what any of you are thinking about right now. Like that's how much. Like she talked about some of her rates. It's like $300 for like a 6-minute custom video.
I don't know like what the average price is.
I don't know either, but like it's $600.
Sounds a lot for.
It's a lot of money. It's pretty impressive. And like she just talks about all of this, and she's like very nonchalant about it, which is very funny. But then she had like yeah, ma'am, you're terminally online, and it was really funny. And I noticed, I watched something happen, and I'm like, oh, now I see what Patrick's life is like living with me. Because they were in a taxi, and she says to the taxi driver, hey, you know about fake taxi? And I thought it was the funniest shit. And the reporter just like puts his hand in his like his face in his hands, and the taxi driver is like, oh, I don't know what that is. And you can see her eyes light up, and she's like, I'm gonna cook this guy. And she's like, it's like a normal taxi, except like instead of paying the driver, you pay like the video, goes and like the driver has sex with the passenger, and that's how she pays. And the reporter is just dying next to her. He's like folding into himself.
Yeah, that's me.
It was so fucking funny.
I would like to jump out of this moving car right now.
It was so funny. But then she like the interview continued, and like she just talks about how like, oh, she really likes it. It's very liberating for her. And then they went shopping for like things, and then he interviewed people on the streets. No one gave a shit. Like most average people just didn't care. They're like, oh, that's interesting. I hope she's being safe, but like no one really cared.
Yeah, no,
which was really cool.
Yeah. I think unless you're like a super weird person, I think that's probably the attitude you have. You're just like, oh wow, you're doing something and it's not hurting people. That's great. Okay, cool.
Yes.
Right.
So
this interaction is done now.
But I wanted to have a little bit of a Gedanken experiment, as we in the physics industry like to talk about this. So, 1,000 dudes, 24 hours. How many men is that per hour? Per minute? How much time?
Okay, so it's 1,000 divided by 24, right? Which maybe we can ask ChatGPT what that is, but Google can just tell us. We have technology. It's 4.1.
4.1
per hour. Oh, sorry. I missed a zero. 1,000. 41.
That's 41 guys and
per hour.
Why is it doing this? Sorry. Continue.
Yeah. So that's 41.6 per hour, right? And then we just divide that by 60. And that is 0.7. 0.7. Yes.
0.7.
0.7 intercourse per minute.
So how many dudes is that?
So,
how much time does one guy, if saying they're in a conga line?
It is minutes per intercourse is 1.4.
So each has 1.44 minutes.
That's correct.
So the logistics of this.
So I think what's important here, right? If I'm just gonna, so the parameters are sex, correct?
Yeah. What is considered sex?
So the question is, what is considered sex, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So is it the completion of the sexual act?
That's the question that I have
is
for you.
Or is it just some kind of intercourse, and that does not necessarily have to involve completion of the sex act?
So this is why at first when I read this story, I was like 1.44 minutes. Like I didn't do the math, but I assumed like about a minute. I remember like about a minute per dude. I'm like, there's no way. Like what? This is just like it's bullshit. But the documentary has given me a different understanding of who this lady is, because she really cares about everybody getting what they want out of this.
Oh my god! Why are we still talking?
So my brain is, I think, because she's an industrious, incredible woman, and I think this is I think this story is like so interesting that the headline does not really cover it, because I think she's a very considerate person, and I think this is like an incredible. This is the most internet brain rot thing that I feel like could just be a publicity stunt, but it's so much more interesting because like she built a whole career out of this. She has employees that, with healthcare,
Oh my god,
and a payroll, and a 401k, and she's basically her own like independent porn studio, and she's doing an incredible feat of humanity, which is get off 1,000 men in 1.44 minutes, and I think that this is an impressive feat that should be considered.
dude. I feel like the pool of dudes is not. It's like it's kind of like this. This is a logistical feat.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. It's logistics. Right? It's incredible.
So this 1,001 hasn't happened.
It's happening in like a few days.
Jesus, that's insane.
Yes. Thank you.
I don't know.
I need a.
This ain't my thing, man.
I hope the dude goes back and does another documentary about. Look, in my brain, she's like that. Have you seen the Flash meme, where the inverse Flash goes like, Barry, the first time you touched a woman and you came in your pants, I ultra speeded over and jacked you off, and like that's what my mental image is. She's just like a speedster from the DC comics.
I just hate you so much, dude.
Just under 2 minutes.
You make it so hard.
Can just make any guy just nut.
You make it so difficult to stay in this room. I swear to God.
So what I'm saying is, I'll be reaching out with our business account so that we can have her on the pod.
Oh my God.
She lives in the UK, unfortunately, so it would be a virtual one. You'd have a little virtual right here.
I'm so confused right now.
I generally just thought it was interesting because like the documentary is cool. People should look into it.
It does seem superhuman. I will say that.
She's
it
impressive.
Does seem superhuman.
I just want to know how she does it.
I mean, like, she's got the website. You could go find out.
I'm not paying for porn. I have paid for porn, but I'm not paying for porn.
Okay.
Listen. It's got. I feel like I'll be speaking from curiosity for like 5 seconds, where I'm like, how do you do it? Like strictly from a scientific perspective, I'm like, I gotta know.
I don't know. I mean, even the so let's say it was 100. Right?
She has done the 100.
That's a reasonable amount of time.
14 minutes.
14 minutes is a reasonable amount of time, but 1.4 minutes that's fast.
Yeah. She's got to get some real nutters.
I'm so glad that the listeners of the podcast are really experiencing what you're like all day of every single day.
Listen, I chose
It doesn't
this.
matter where we are. We could be in the gym, right? It's the same. Hassan's the same. We could be in the lab. Hassan is more work oriented, but every now and then he's the same. We go to lunch, he's the same. We do this, it's the same. This is what you get. This is what you get all the time.
I think we were talking recently about group meeting dynamics. Were you there? And so I was on. I know you weren't there. Were you not there? You were somewhere. But we're talking about group meeting dynamics and how like I just end up getting on my phone because I fall asleep, like the air dart.
Because you're a little zoomer.
The sleep dart hits me right in the throat, and I have to stay awake. And Will said the amount of anxiety that I cause him because
I can't give a shit.
I'm doom scrolling on my phone, and he was just like, I am so worried that like you forget the mute once, and one of those videos auto plays, and I told him like I have done this.
Yeah,
and Will goes, I die from embarrassment when it happens, and I'm like, I don't give a shit. And then I was saying how he's like, I'm just surprised that Wes is just so chill about it. I'm like, oh, the reason why Wes is chill about it is because Wes knows that I'm listening to every word that he is saying and what everybody else is saying.
And your Twitter feed is just Subway Surfers.
It is, basically. And Wes has done this before where he's like, Hassan, what are your thoughts? And I will frame one, give him an answer that's relevant. So he's stopped. I think he's noticed that I just have brain rot and I need something to keep me active.
Yeah.
And
it's like me here when I need the little fidget.
Exactly.
Because otherwise I play with the cords.
The cords.
And then Hassan yells at me.
Okay, because you fuck up the audio when you do that.
Okay. All right. Fuck up the audio.
Oh, man. Sorry for the derailment. What's the next thing ChatGPT has requested?
All right, let's do one more. Survival guide for useless situations. Give a step-by-step guide on how to survive non-existent disasters. Oh, so I've done this. I loved doing this. So I had a friend. I have a friend from undergrad. His name's Frank, and we were in the computer lab really late one night. We were working on like some MATLAB project. By the way, MATLAB's cursed. I hate MATLAB.
MATLAB sucks.
And like we were working on this MATLAB project, and he just kind of looks at me and he's like, "What would you do if there's just a zombie in the hall right now?" Right? And we just discussed the full thing, right? We're just like, this room is not well suited for survival in such a situation. And we would be pretty screwed. There's only one way in and one way out, and like the zombies know where we are, and this is bad.
Yeah, I feel like this is a very man thing. You also like make up, guides. You're like, what if there's a shooter?
I mean, we did this just now.
Exactly.
Right? We already did this episode.
Survival guide for having sex with 1,000 men in 24 hours. Oh my god! What else do they have? Pop culture with a twist.
Unnecessary movie sequels.
Celebrity what ifs. What if Beyonce was a zookeeper? That's bar.
Yeah, that ain't it for me, ChatGPT. Interactive segments, awkward text, anonymous.
Get that. Game or challenge days. Bad advice hotline. Okay. I feel like that's just everything that I say half the time. Unsolicited advice is the best kind of advice, I think. Whenever your friend is in dire need and needs help and doesn't ask you for it, you should get in there and tell them how to fix their situation. Just think as if you were a Reddit user.
Yeah, just give the wrong answers to every question possible.
I think I made Thomas mad one time. But I've made Thomas legitimately mad at me once that I remember distinctly, which was the Reddit user thing, where when I was bored and like when I was younger and bored, I would find threads that were basically kind of dead with people asking tech questions, and I had no idea what the tech questions were. I didn't really care. I would just go onto the forums and I would say, I fixed it.
Bro, what is wrong with you?
And then I would delete the account.
It's like somebody on the r/math subreddit. It's like, like, man, I'm having a really hard time solving the Riemann hypothesis.
Yeah.
Hassan's like, I got you. Delete account.
So
he opens up a new branch of like investigative mathematics.
exactly.
Like, this guy did it. We don't know who he is.
So Thomas was mad at me when they found out. They're like, "No, you don't." I'm like, "Oh no, I've done it." They're like, "No, you don't." And I was like, "Can you prove it?" I was like, "I deleted the account, like for the sole purpose. They're like, I killed the trail right there, like, and they literally can't ask for clarification because it's just
That's evil, bro.
And then exactly, it's evil. And then I would have another account and I would watch the thread and laugh.
Oh my god.
And then I have
it's like setting a house on fire and then watching from a nearby hill. That's insane. That's so psycho, dude.
and they didn't believe me. And they didn't believe me. And then one day I remember sending Thomas a thread. I'm like, "Oh, I found one." And Thomas was like, "I thought you were lying. I thought it was a lie. This is the worst thing you've ever done." And it was something about like RS-232 protocols.
Oh my god. Brother.
Yeah. I know.
First of all, anybody listening, never assume Hassan is lying. He will go that far. He has gone that far, and he will go that far again. This man is a dust devil. He is a tornado, ready to fuck anything up.
I love shit like that. I know it's bad. I understand. But like, it's so funny to just put a little chaos in the world occasionally.
And you really are Team Entropy. Team Heat Death.
Oh,
I'm on your side.
Oh, but what else was there? The last thing I did want to talk about, which was oh my god. Actually, no, we talked about it during lunch. You were there. About the magic set that's getting removed. Not removed, but like where they're changing the name away.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And then people getting mad at it. So like
whatever.
The biggest
name's changing, who cares?
The biggest, most annoying YouTuber, his name is Alpha Investments. He made a video about it. The dude is kind of gross. He's like this magic hoarder, and I think he just like has his personal like collection of insane. He's just rich. He's just a rich guy who like does all this shit, and he has YouTube videos and he makes them. And like a lot of them are like, at first I thought like he's funny because I thought he was just making outrage fuel like purposefully.
Sure.
But
it turned into his actual real
exactly. And I think as time went on, I realized like, oh, this is not outrage fuel. Like this is literally how this guy thinks. And the video starts off with he's like, "Look, I understand that like I'm a little bit," and just straight up drops the R word. Like he's just like, "I'm just a little bit like that." But like, what is this? They had like a company come in, and now the DEI is ruining magic. And he called them sensitivity bands.
They're woke in my game
because it's just like he's mad at the previous bans that came out where they banned a couple of cards. Or Maddie's like, "Listen, we kind of fucked up. We're like, look up the card Prejudice MTG.
This is gonna be really bad." Thank God for autocorrect. What a hard
MTG Magic the Gathering
images. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, those are very normal.
And stone throwing devils.
Yeah, very normal.
You should look up stone
throwing
devils.
What the hard? Okay.
It's tough. It looks it's like yeah.
Oh. I see.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And they're like, "Hey, we kind of fucked up." So they just did like a blanket ban, and they literally cannot be sold in sanctioned game stores anymore.
Rough.
Like, no, these are out of the game. Like, we're done with them. And then he was mad at that. He's like, this is DEI getting into my game.
Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Who cares? If like things change, dude. Everything's okay.
But I just want to talk about it a little bit. All right, folks. This was the Hassan Patrick Power Hour.
Fuck yeah.
We had a very interesting topic towards the end.
I feel like we had a couple of good ones.
Yeah, a couple of good ones. I'm sorry about the camera issues. I realized that I fucked up and I piped the video into the wrong port. I'm an idiot. It's okay.
All is good.
We'll see y'all later. Peace.
Bye.